The French Foreign Minister, Laurent Fabius, has said that France will table a resolution at the United Nations Security Council to place Syria's chemical weapons arsenal under international control so that it can be destroyed. Fabius laid out the terms of the proposed resolution.
Premièrement, condamner le massacre du 21 août commis par le régime syrien.
Firstly, to condemn the massacre by the Syrian regime on August 21st. Secondly, to demand from this regime that they shed all light on their chemical weapons program without further delay, that they place it under international control, and that it be destroyed. Thirdly, to put into place a complete plan to control and inspect its duties under the control of the international organization for the prohibition of chemical weapons. Fourth, to anticipate extremely serious consequences if Syria violates its duties. Finally, fifth, to bring the perpetrators of the August 21st chemical massacre to the International Criminal Court.
Du massacre chimique du 21 août devant la justice pénale internationale.
However, to avoid Syrian President Bashar al-Assad using the motion as a delaying tactic, the threat of military action will still remain on the table if specific conditions are not met. France also welcomed what it called Russia's turnaround.
The Russians, at the start of it, were denying there were chemical weapons in Syria. Then they denied there was a chemical massacre. So they've evolved from it. That's good. But one must understand why the Russians have developed their position. There are two good reasons for this. Firstly, because we've firmly stood our ground, and secondly, because they are realizing that there is more and more overwhelming proof of a chemical massacre.
Russia says it is developing its own workable, concrete, specific plan to have Assad give up his chemical weapons, and although few details are currently available, Russian parliamentary leaders have supported the proposal, which could avert a U.S. strike in Syria. The United States and France are threatening limited military action in Syria over an alleged chemical weapons attack by the Assad regime, which the U.S. says killed over 1,400 people. President Barack Obama has said military strikes could be delayed or stopped entirely if Syria hands over its unconventional weapons arsenal for disposal. In Israel, where Syria and its allies have threatened to retaliate if a U.S. strike goes ahead, some believe that America should already have carried out strikes against Assad in order to deter other countries like Iran, which is suspected of developing nuclear weapons, from opposing the United States. Israeli President Shimon Peres was less decisive on the issue, adopting a wait-and-see approach.
Till now, there were countries that thought nothing should be done. That's the change. What will come out of it? Let's wait and see. There will be tough negotiations, that I'm sure. Because at least one partner, the Syrians, are not trustworthy. And their acceptance means very little. And they got credit for not trusting them.
If the proposed resolutions do pass the United Nations Security Council, it would represent a true breakthrough in the Syrian crisis. However, implementing an inspection and removal program of Assad's chemical weapons is likely to prove extremely difficult as fighting continues to rage across the country.